No, just first want to say thank you for everyone involved. It's been a smooth trip so far. We've had 2 good days of practice, and players and everyone involved has had a really nice time here at the resort, and looking for another fun day today.
I'm curious, just when you come to a tournament like this with the field that's here, kind of what do you hope to learn about your team and yourself when you play in an event like this?
Yeah, for us personally, I think just how much heart we have. Playing 3 games back to back, it's a lot on anyone's body. So I think just how we handle adversity in times, and for me personally, just making sure I stay in a mindset just to make sure I can lead my team.
Hailey, I was going to ask in a bigger picture since this is the second year of the Atlantis tournament. Last year had a really high profile field, another one this year. I was talking to your coach about this earlier that there's the Jumpman tournament that's going to be in North Carolina, the Phil Knight. There's a lot more of these women's basketball tournaments that seem like higher profile events. Like, kind of how much value do you see in that for the game when we've been at a time of talking about the value of the game after 2021, the marketability and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's great for women's basketball because you see it a lot on the men's side. Like right out the gate, all the top teams square off, and it gets fans excited. It gets attention around the game. So I think it's great that the women's side is starting to follow through a little bit. So I think the top matchups that are going to happen over this Thanksgiving break are really just going to create excitement around the game. So it'll be fun.
Anyone on Zoom have questions for the student athletes? Yeah, just raise your hands in the Zoom. You have a question? Good luck, everybody.
Good job. Time to the beach. Beach. No, thank you. Go on a bit. In the lazy river, or the rapid river.
Yeah, Jeff, Hailey's had a great start to the season. Kind of, what do you like about the way she's attacked the start of this season, especially offensively?
Well, I think she's started the season the way she ended last season. She's very aggressive with the basketball, looking to score, but she's also looking to get her teammates involved. She puts the work in. She's works extremely hard all summer long to continue to improve her game, and now she's getting the opportunity to showcase, the work you put into it, and that's why you do it. And she's fun to coach, and just really is a true competitor.
To follow up on that, do you have a clear idea, I guess, about who the number 2 scorer is? When I'm looking at it, Hailey's numbers stand out, but then you've got several players that are experienced and have had moments. But do you have a person that's maybe you think can emerge into a second consistent scorer kind of thing?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Olivia Cochran, you've got Chrislyn Carr, Morgan Jones, Koss scored the ball the other night. I think that's what makes us a good basketball team is the fact, we've got a variety of players that can score the ball. Peyton Verhulst can score it. So it's just going to determine on matchups where our advantage comes in, if it's in the post or at another guard spot. And, I think at the end of the day, it's kind of similar to our team last year, where any given night, there could be two or three that could get 15 to 20. And it's not always the same ones. And that, I think, is why we've been as good as we've been over the past, eight, 9 years is because you just can't key on one person. You can't say if we take this person out, then they're not going to be able to score the ball. So we take a lot of pride in that, and we're going to continue to hopefully develop, more scorers as we go throughout the year. And, players that step up and have that confidence to take the shot is important as well.
Jeff, hey, it's Jody here back home. These trips are always great for you guys to get away and do some bonding and things like that. This one's a little different maybe than ones you've taken before because the competition is so good. How do you mix the team bonding with knowing that you've got to play at your highest level here during this tournament?
Well, I mean, it's similar to when we went to St. Thomas and play. We played Oregon in that championship game. It was ranked #1 in the country, I believe. But at the same time, you come down here to give your players the opportunity to enjoy it as well. I mean, if you're just going to sit here and play basketball and watch film and go back to your room, why take the trip? So we've really worked hard for the fact of we practiced yesterday at 8. We practiced this morning at 7:30. So our players are able to. I mean, we had a great practice. They came in focused, did exactly what we needed to do, and now they're able to enjoy the day. And to me, it's important. Again, why come to a place like this if you're not going to give your student athletes an opportunity to enjoy it? So I want them to go on the slides. I want them to go on the water park, all that good stuff, go out to the beach. I just tell them to make sure you use some sunscreen. Don't need anybody get burned. But besides that, enjoy it. And then we'll come tomorrow and be prepared to play.
Hey, Jeff, it's Alexis Cuba from the CJ. I just wanted to ask you about, obviously you guys played Gonzaga last year in the tournament. How does that familiarity maybe help out with, this game coming up, especially since, it's still very early in the season?
Yeah, they're a great basketball team. Lisa does a fantastic job. They've got scores at the guard spot. Their post kids can run the floor and score as well. They drive it extremely well from the high post. It's going to be a ball game. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, having played them, in the second round, it was a great game. I think, we jumped out quick, and then they came back and battled back and took a 1-point lead in the third quarter. And then we were able to close things out at the end. But at the same time, we're playing at home in front of about 8,000. So this is going to be obviously a neutral court. It's going to be a good test for us to really see, are we going to get down and guard somebody? Defensively, I think we're like 340th in 3-point percentage defense. Teams are shooting 51% on us from the 3-point line. I mean, most teams can't do that in practice, but unfortunately that's what they do against us in games. So we've got a lot of things to work on and a lot to prove, because normally that's the one thing we can hang our hat on is guarding someone, and we just have not done a very good job of that through the first 3 games.
And then one more for me. Obviously, it's going to be high competition. I mean, you had, I guess, 4 undefeated teams right now. 3 are ranked, and then 4 made the tournament last year. How much value can you get out of a tournament with such high competition this early in the season where, you're still working through some things, but they can kind of show you those areas that you need to work on to be in, top form by ACC play?
Yeah, it's always great. I mean, when you get the opportunity to come in here and play at Gonzaga the first game, who I've got a ton of respect for, enjoy watching them on film, and then everybody else in the field, UCLA, Marquette, South Dakota State, you've got Tennessee, just a great group. So whoever we get to play, day 2 and day 3 is going to present some challenges for us. And then we'll see how we adapt. I mean, everybody's facing the same thing. In game 1, we all get some time to prep. You know who you're playing. Game 2, game 3, it's day of. So you've got to figure out, okay, how fast can we turn things around? And I don't compare it to anything. I don't compare it to the NCAA tournament. You can compare it to your conference tournament, because even in the NCAA tournament, I'm getting a day in between. So you're actually getting a day to prep, where here it's just one walkthrough and you're trying to sit there and give them a scouting report, show them, hey, here are player tendencies, and then you've got to go out and perform. But it's the same for all of us. So I'm expecting, it's not a do or die. It's not like if you win the thing, you're going to the Final Four. And if you go 0-3, it doesn't mean you're not going to the Final Four. You've just got to make sure you're growing each game. And that's one of the things that we've really talked to our team about, especially with as many new players as we have, is just making sure each day we learn something. It's a process. It's a marathon and it's not a sprint. Thank you, everybody.